morning. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. We're doing our lives today through Facebook and Instagram. And we should be wrapping up our Sixth Sense this month, and we'll be moving into December, which has gone by really quick. The whole year has gone by really quick. And it's important to really remember what we're here for and what is it we truly desire. And when we start to think about what we're here on this planet for, we're really here for growth, for prosperity, for experience something beyond what we've ever done. When we arrived, we came into the environment, and it's not just about coming to environment and adapting, but it's really about progressing. We are human beings, and a human being is becoming aware of itself, to grow, to live. To live means to be excited, to be enthusiastic for life. We didn't come here just to be still. We came to hear, see, taste, touch, smell. But as well, we came to evolve. The evolution of our consciousness and the evolution of our experiences is all really up to us and how we want to experience it. When we look at the men from past times that have brought forth new ideas that have changed or revolutionized our planet, they were men that were always thinking beyond. They were always advanced decision making. And they were really wanting to bring something from the unseen world. Everything they saw, they were always wanting to go beyond what they saw. And because they had this innate nature in them that they listened to, they brought great things to this world. Everything that we look at in the past experiences were brought forth because of the desire that's unseen. And this desire that's unseen is our spiritual essence, is to grow and to achieve and to accomplish more things. And they followed it. They followed the higher faculties of our nature. And that higher faculty is spiritual. We are truly spiritual beings experiencing a physical reality. And they were being guided. And because they were being guided and they listened, they brought forth to this world a new kingdom over and over and over again. These mental giants, these men with big ideas, have changed the world. Now, when we look at ourselves and what we're doing here, are the things that we are doing, are they worthy of us? That's the true question. The things that I am experiencing, and is it worthy of me? Is it worthy of my time? And we have limited time. There's one thing we cannot disagree with, is that the time that we're here is a moment or a glimpse compared to the earth that has seen all things. So why not make the best out of life? Why not do things on purpose to definite ends? Why not decide how you want to live? I know why we don't. The truth of the matter is that majority of people are truly scared to go beyond what they got to do. And it's natural to be that way. It's natural to think in that way. And there's a higher side of us that wants to grow and to adapt and to change. The average mind works towards everything under the sun, and this is normal. The average mind, 97% of people, their mindset they're just stuck to seeing everything under the sun. They look at the circumstances, they look at the scenario, the scene, and it's automatic for them to adapt, to think from the same places. But there's also this higher nature that wants you to go above and go beyond, for you to see what's going on, but that also causes you to imagine beyond. And only 3% are really working from that higher state. Only 3% are working from that higher state. And they're going beyond. They're thinking beyond. And if they don't see what they want in this physical world, they go and create it. And they do this so that they may bring a new reality into form. Now, where are you in this position? What are you doing? What are you doing to create the life that you decide, that you desire? Now, let's go to the intuition and how this intuition is guiding us. Now, we've been going over the intuition all month on purpose, so that we can get a better understanding of the intuition and how the intuition works. Well, this intuition is working inside of you all day, all night, and it's guiding you. Are we listening? A higher consciousness always controls the lower states. And this is why 3% get the 97% to work for them. This is why 97% are locked in. They're locked into models, they're locked into circumstances, and they really rarely go beyond. And it's not because somebody's ruled you, it's not because somebody's controlling you, it's because you haven't woken up. You haven't decided. Some odd reason, you became a slave to your own consciousness. It's the strangest thing. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we, you, I, everyone else, will become strangely enslaved by daily trivia. Not because we can't go further, because we haven't decided to go further. Because we don't have clearly defined goals. A clearly defined goal will take you anywhere you want to go. But do you know what you want? Do you know where you're going? Now, we're coming into December, and we're going to be talking about the master key to success. There's only one way. The master key to success. There's only one way. I go back 18, 19 years old. I was giving my life away, working for peanuts, working for labor. I had the mindset of value production. My intuition, my sixth sense worked perfect for me then. "18, 19 years old, I was going into the world on purpose, and I was coming into the world on purpose to earn money. And this is one of the largest mistakes that everybody's doing around the world. We'll go find a job, we'll go look for a job, and we will work on purpose to earn money. This is normal. But it's wrong. 97, 98% earn money, and the way they do it with the mindset and the intention is to work for money. They serve money. Now, I wasn't taught this. I wasn't taught the other way of thinking. I wasn't taught what I know now. I learned through experiencing. And I went and traded my time for money. And much like everyone else, I walked into the same model by thinking the same way. I walked into the same model by thinking the same way. Work for money. Trade my time for money. So I did the only thing that I could do. And I earned the only amount that I could earn, week after week, month after month, because I ran out of time over and over. I had so many hours I would work per day. And even if I did work more hours, I would earn more money, but I was still locked in. I would never earn any more. So for days and weeks and years, I was stuck in a system to go nowhere. If I would have stayed there the rest of my life, I would not be the man that you're seeing here today. If I would have stayed there earning that amount of money, I would have been in poverty. If I would have stayed there, poverty would have been my result. Poverty would have been my reality. Poverty would have been the reality of my children. And that's all they would have experienced. Why? Because I was raising them. Because they came from me. So therefore, they have to experience my world, my mindset, my way of thinking, my results. And much like them, I had to experience my family's mindset, the way they were thinking, how they earned money. So here, let's go before my parents' time. They had to experience their parents or the families that raised them. Why? Because they did the only thing that they could do. They adapted. They came into a world just as well as I came into a world. And they had to adapt to the way of thinking of the people around them. And they did what they did, and they've done what their ancestors have done. This has gone over and over and over in the ages, not really realizing that we are much more, and that we could create and do anything that we wanted by choice. But yet, we go into life thinking and doing as what everyone else does. And this is wrong. I valued production. I valued the production line. My value was in trading my time by the hour, hoping to get to a salary, to trade my time still by the hour, to work for money. Wrong mindset. Later on, I developed the mindset of I would get money to work for me. Completely different model. But yet I could have had that mindset to start off with. I could have started doing that from day one. But why did I not? Why did I value production more than I valued creation? Why is it that people around the world value the production more than they value creation? I can tell you why. Conditioning. Conditioning, over and over, year after year. We're taught. We're taught to give services. And we're taught to do things in a certain way. And if we don't realize that there's another way, we stay the same. And this is normal. This is normal for all of us. I did not want to be stuck. I did not want to live the way I was living anymore. But that meant that I was going to have to change the way I think. I was going to have to take responsibility. And I was going to have to make a decision of what I wanted. I was going to have to decide where I want to go, what I want to experience, how I want to experience life, and do things to a different end. At that time, I was doing things to no end. In all things, there are two affairs. What are they? In all things, there are two affairs, myself and the things to be dealt with. Myself and what do I want? If I looked around and I started to look at all the things that were around me, by law, they were an adaptation to the way I was thinking. The world around you is adapting to how you think. So everything around me was an adaptation to the way I was programmed, the beliefs that I had, the culture that I was conditioned by, the way I was brought up, values and all these ideas that didn't come from me, that came from everyone around me. And here, the reality that I was experiencing was a product of all this scenes and scenarios from the past. I really didn't decide those. They were given to me. So I had to understand that if I was seeing things into my life that I no longer desired, I had to understand that they were holding me back. It was keeping me safe at the moment. It gave me ideas to use, to experience, but all of which were truly never mine. When I really began to think the life that I was living was on purpose according to the people that were on purpose before me, were not truly mine, I had to really evaluate everything in my life. And I'm still evaluating that. Because everything that I've done in my life was according to the circumstances and the people around me. Therefore, I've experienced their ideas. And in a general rule of thumb, that's the majority of what everyone does. They just experience the ideas of the people that they came into. That caused the relationship, that caused the husband, the wife, that caused the boyfriend, the girlfriend, that caused the dad, the mom, that caused the grandfather, grandmother. All these ideas were not mine. That caused the way I would earn money, whether I would create wealth or I would create poverty. The majority of us, we never really reason with all these ideas that we were given. And we just take on their ideas and we just go live their lives. It becomes our own. I go back to this young man at 18, 19 years old, and here he's deciding that it's time for him to earn money, which we all do. But he took on value of the production line. And he began to adapt. Now there's another way. If you guys are here, you're listening to this, or you're streaming this later on, December, I believe it's the 22nd, you need to go to our website. In December, we're going to have a live event. We're going to be teaching the master keys to success. We'll have it here live in Lubbock, Texas. Go to our website, check it out. We're doing this on purpose. Not because we have to, because we want to. We're giving back on purpose. Why? Because we were stuck. Why? Because we wanted to help people to be able to win. We wanted to help people to become successful. We wanted to change the way we've been conditioned and to help other people to live the way they truly desire to live. We wanted to help spiritual consciousness be able to make the changes that he or she wants to make in life, to be able to understand their mindset and why they're stuck. Now, we've already worked with people. We've already been helping people. We've already seen the changes. We've seen the changes in ourselves. We've also seen the changes in other people. And it works. Let's go back to value production. Value production is where we value trading our time for money. Now, you can go all around the world and you can see this money-making strategy. This money-earning strategy, you get stuck. But you can see it used all around the world. And you'll see that it has a common thread. You don't earn much because you run out of time. And according to what they base your salary at, if you're on salary, you're still going to run out of time. Why? Because they already gave you a base salary. Why? Because they already gave you an hourly wage. So both of those models, eventually, you level off. You can't earn anymore. You're stuck. Now you're going to say, well, what is it that I'm supposed to do? That's the way people build businesses. Well, that's not necessarily true. You could go into a business that sells products or services and move into sales. The majority of the people, I teach them that sales is really one of the biggest money earning strategies there is, because nobody can stop you from selling. Now, I've worked at companies where I've seen people stop in sales. And I noticed they all stopped more or less the same as everyone else. And they just do what everyone else does. And really, there was no cap. And if they would have continued to push forward in selling, they would have earned more money. Nobody ever told them to stop, but for some odd reason, they stopped. And again, this is mental mindsets. Why would somebody stop selling? Nobody can control time in that manner. When I figured out sales was really the game changer, I sold my way through a company, through building companies, on purpose, because nobody can ever put a cap on you. You don't have to build your own company. You can sell yourself into a partnership. Nobody ever told you to stop. And if nobody can really tells you to stop, you can earn as much money as you want. I was really amazed that I would see men 10, 20, 30, 40 years just do enough just to get by. And yeah, even though they were making 60, some of them 80, some of them 100, some of them 120. Now I've got people that are earning 130, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. And it just keeps going on. I've seen people $1 million. Nobody ever told them that they could stop. So all the people that were earning at the time, they were earning 60 to 100,000, were earning that amount because that's all they thought they could earn. Now they may have said, and they may have looked around, well, if I sell, well, then we don't have the equipment. Go sell more. The company will find a way to give you equipment. I guarantee you, right on time. I remember another individual in the business that I was working in. He left our location and went to go to another location, and they went from, I don't remember, it's $300,000 or $400,000 a month to over $1 million a month. The company found a way to get that man the trucks and the equipment that he needed. He ended up moving up and running the company for a long period of time. I'm not too sure if he's still there. But something in him believed he could do more, and something in him changed, and therefore he went and did it. Nobody was holding him back. So what is it that's holding us back? Well, it could be only one thing: our mindset. If your mindset is governed, that means the way you were raised was to earn 30,000. Chances are you'll get to 50, 60. If your family, the people around them, earned 50 to 60, the chances are you'll get to 60 to 80. But it's rare that you see someone doing double, triple, quadruple, and it is very rare that you're going to find somebody doing 10 times the amount of annual income that their family was earning. Why is that so rare? Because we're not conditioned to live that way. And if we're not conditioned to live that way, majority of the time we won't aspire to more. We don't aspire to more because we're not programmed to have more. What's holding people back around the world? There's only one thing: it's their mind. What's allowing people to go further? There's only one thing: it's their mind. So when we really begin to understand the mind is everything. The mind has set up a chain of events in your life. You say, well, how could the mind do that? It's my mind. It is your mind, but you're not in control of it. And you may say, oh, I am in control of my mind. I do everything I want to do. Do you? Why haven't you taken on every wish or dream that you had? What stopped you when you had that great idea? You say you control your mind. You say you control your reality. Why did you not work towards that dream or that vision? Now you're starting to understand there's something inside of you telling you, no, you can't do that. That's not possible. We don't know how to do that. Circumstances don't allow us to do that. I don't have the money. I don't have the experience. I don't. Again, you're going back to your mind. I didn't have the money. I did not have the experience. I did not have the time. I didn't have the understanding. I didn't have the specialized knowledge. I didn't have none of those things. And I've accomplished so much. Because I didn't give in the way normally people give in. Again, I was able to give myself a command and do it. I was able to put a goal down and work towards it. I was able to face those fears, face those doubts, face those worries and say, no, I'm going to go there and there's a place. I was able to pick up books and go find the book on purpose that would take me where I wanted to go. With no money, with no time, with no success in that area, application or experience. I was able to give myself a command and look at the page, observe the page, and not only to read the page, just to read it, just for memory and intellectual factors, but to read the page and do what the page tells me to do. I was able to take this information, page by page, and then go act it out. To definite ends. I was able to use my imagination. And my imagination sometimes turned around and said, well, we can't do that. My subconscious mind said, that's not possible. My subconscious mind said, the money's not there. My subconscious mind said, where are you going to find the opportunity? There is no opportunities for you. My mind said, my mind. My mind has done the exact same things that your mind has been doing. But what was different in me? Controlling the flow. Able to say, no, if that's what I want, this is who I have to be. And then figure out who it is that I have to be, and then willing to adapt to the changes that I have to become. The ability to give myself a command and do it. The ability to discipline myself and pick up the book when I didn't want to pick up the book. I did not like reading. But it wasn't until I found out that some of these books, if you read them on purpose, would change the way I think. If I picked up this book, some of these books would give me what I desired. If I was willing to understand my mindset, reprogram my mind, change my vibration. Now, where did I get all this information from? Study, research, and understanding. But you'll never get to the understanding part of it until you go and do it. What changed in me? My desire to be much more. Why are you here listening to this? Your desire to be so much more. There's something inside of you that knows that it's so much more. What are you going to do about it? Now, it was through this repetition. I remember for years inviting people to come study with me. You want to get up at 4 a.m.? What are you doing at 4:30? What are you doing at 5? What are you doing at 6? Nobody wanted to do it. But for years, I would discipline myself for doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then taking the information, the research, and then applying it. Study, taking the research and applying it. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. I was becoming somebody different. Everybody else was staying the same. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. I'm still changing my consciousness, changing my mindset, understanding more. Everyone else staying the same. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, still studying, still researching, still changing me. I look back, everybody's still staying the same. 3 months, 6 months, and I've done this for years. But this is why my environment still keeps changing. And I look back, and everyone is still more or less the same. Why? Because the mind, the way we think, sets up the chain of events. How did I change? By changing my mind. That changed the what? The scene. That changed the environment. That changed the chain of events. You look right now and look at everything around you. You're going to say that the circumstances control your behavior. No. Your mind, the way you think, is setting up a chain of events for you just to fall into and adapt. And it's not until you can change your mind and go beyond what you're doing on purpose to a definite end that everything can change. And if you're not willing to do that, nothing is going to change. Why? Because you didn't change. All around the world, I find people doing things instead of becoming more. They are human doings instead of human beings. A human being is adapting to the changes that are needed to become whatever it wants to become, to decide what it's going to be. Human being is the evolution of consciousness. It's the only thing it could be. Human being what? Whatever you want to be. Or are human doings? Just go do this and go do that. There's not much thought in that. Nor is there much creation in that. This is why you're living the way you're living. Not because you can't be more or have more or do more. You just choose to adapt to what everyone else is doing. Instead of becoming a human being, you're a human just doing things. Human doings. There's a place for you. There's a place for everyone. Which side of the tracks do you want to be on? Value creation, value production. Do you want to live a more fuller life? Do you want to create the life that you desire? There's another way. Very few choose this way. The seminars that we have are not normal. They're not for normal people. Nor did I ever want to be normal. I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want to get the results they were getting. I looked, I saw. I was raised in poverty. Of course, there's different levels of poverty. I've seen worse poverty. You go to different countries, poverty. What do you want? That's the true question. That's the real question of all of it. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It does not matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much education you have. It does not matter whether you graduated or not. Why? Because it's all about the way we think. It's innate in you, it's innate in me. One is the cause, the other one is the effects. The amount of money you earn controls how you experience life. The amount of money you earn, how you earn money, dictates how much time you have during the day. You may say, money's not everything to me, but yet you trade your time for it every day. You may say, money is not everything, but yet you give your whole life for it. How many hours did you spend working for money? You say money's not everything, but yet everything you have to pay for. You say money's not everything, but yet everything you have to pay for. So yes, money is everything, and money controls everything. There's another way. There's a free way. I've said this many times. There's another way. If you don't want to be controlled by money, you don't want to earn money in the highest degree, you don't want to serve other people and earn money. You don't want to give value, create abundance for other people, create service for other people, give people better standards, better life, better lifestyle. You don't want to be creative. You don't want to give to society. There's another world. Economical world works around money. operates with money. And then there's the free world, where you can live with nature. Yet, for centuries, these guys over here have been adapting their consciousness to get to the point to where they're at. You can start all over from scratch again. You can go to the freedom. It's free over there. You don't have to give any services or any value for money, and you don't have to earn it. Everything is free there. But you're going to have to imagine, you're going to have to think, you're going to have to start from scratch. You're going to have to figure out how you're going to sleep, where you're going to sleep. And you'll have to use your imagination again. So either which way you go about it, you're going to have to use the mind. And then you will have to adapt or change your environment. Free world, you will have to go in and you will have to adapt because you're not like the animals. You have a higher faculty and you don't want to be there. You're going to want to build a roof immediately. You're going to want to build a home immediately. Why? Because you're above the animal kingdom. You do not want to adapt to the animal kingdom. You don't want to use money. You don't want to go in the economical system. Don't. The other way is free. You have to learn how to earn your own food, earn your own keep. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice when it comes to applying our mind. Even the man that begs on the street for money, he's having to use his imagination how he's going to earn money. The man that lives in the wilderness, he's got to use his imagination to go beyond where he's at. He's got to use imagination how he's going to eat, how he's going to sleep, how he's going to cover himself, how he's going to gather food, wood, heat, because the seasons don't change. They don't stay put. Some places they will, but he still has to use his imagination no matter what. There's one thing you cannot get away from is using your imagination, using your mind. And you'll begin to understand that the way you're thinking is what's shaping your world around you. One's the cause, the other one's effect, and you're always looking to the effects of things. You're always looking to the circumstances, and you never understand the cause. The way you think has set up a chain of events. The way you think has set up a chain of events, and all you're doing is experiencing them afterwards. If this individual went off to the forest, he said, I will not earn money, and I will not give any services for it. His mind set him up to a chain of events. Cause, effect. Beginning, ending. What are we understanding? Everything is mindset. The conclusion to this is that your imagination is always a step ahead of you, good or bad. My imagination, my intuition took me to a job in a business where I had to trade my body by the hour. I did that because I didn't believe I was worthy of more at the time. For 1,460 days, I traded my mind, my body, my reality that I experienced, everything in equal proportion to the amount that I gave, to the amount that I earned, and to what I served. And I earned so much money. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing today is the same thing. What you're seeing outside of you is experience outside of you. What you are experiencing outside of you is your conditioned state of mind. Now, if you want to go further and go beyond, you've got to be willing to do the work. You've got to be willing to do the work. I'm going to play this video. Put a little bit of Bob in here. Bob Proctor was an individual that really has played a big part of what we do. And in my lifetime and so many other people, because he's worked his whole life. He's gone now, but he worked his whole life giving to society. He worked his whole life giving people a better understanding of their consciousness. I met Bob later on. years later, after doing my own study, doing my own inner work, doing my own research, led me to the same information that he was studying as a young man himself. Now, I was doing all this on my own because my intuition led me there, my same intuition, because I desired to be more, to have more, to achieve more. I started to research a lot of old books, a lot of old material. And for years, I went through the books, I've gone through the study. And when I met Bob, it was later on in the years after I was changing and growing, and I saw that he had a way of communicating, a way of teaching. He had a method. He had books to help people progress. And at that time, I was still growing. I'm still growing now. But I wanted to help people, and I wanted to be able to communicate this information effectively and teach people how to win. I wanted to bring it back to our companies. I wanted to bring it back to everyone around me because I wanted everyone to win. And so I went to study with the Procter & Gallagher Institute, and that brought back the knowledge and the application to be able to teach people on purpose to definite ends. And these are the resources that we use to help people grow. Now, the study that he done, he went and studied from other men that were in personal development as well. He studied with them, and he was mentored by them, and he brought them information to change his life and the people around him. So we have hundreds and hundreds of years of this study. Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, Ford, all these men, Edison, of great experience, of great knowledge, we have it packed into these books that we're teaching. Take a look at this.
Henry Ford had gone to a gold seminar, or Hedy Lamarr had gone to a gold seminar, or Edison had gone to a gold seminar. And they had told the people about the goals they were setting. The people would have told them that they were being unrealistic. You don't want to do that. Why will a person do what we're suggesting? I believe they do it because they really do understand. They may not have it clear in their mind that they could really articulate it to someone else, but they do understand that there is true greatness within us. It's not just words that they repeat. Like, you have to ask, where did Phil Goldfine, where was he coming from? Now, Phil would probably have been around, 34, 35 at the time I met him. So he'd been around the park for a little while. And we're talking and we're just shooting the breeze with each other. And he began to share his dreams. And I'm saying, well, you can do that. You can do that. How many saw the movie Chorus Line? God, it was such a great movie. You remember the little kid? He went with his sister to the dance, and he said, well, I could do that. I can do that. That was the kid's key line. I can do that. Well, when you're reading about Hedy Lamarr, I want you to think about her. She was a beautiful woman. But there's a lot of beautiful women that just lose, She was caught. She was in Austria, and she escaped on a bicycle when the Nazis started to move in. I mean, she didn't have time to take a trunk load of stuff with her. She was on a bicycle. When I saw her in the movie, she wasn't that old. It was in the 40s and the 50s. Where did she get the idea she could do what she was doing? Where'd she get it? She got it from the same idea that you're going to go to for your ideas. But what you've really got to understand, and you've got to understand it with some depth, you are programmed. You are definitely programmed to play it safe. You are. Most people my age are, they're programmed to take it easy. Just take it easy. You've worked hard, you deserve, just take it easy. That's a bunch of nonsense. What would you want to take it easy for? It's nowhere near as much fun as creating. I've often thought, when I'm in Amsterdam, I like to go to the museum and see Rembrandt's work, The Night Watch. It's one of the most magnificent pieces of art that you'll ever see. It's every bit as long as that screen is wide. And there's, I don't know how many people in it. I was listening one time to an art critic. He was being interviewed, and they said, well, how do you determine a masterpiece of art? He said, every part of it's perfect. And it's stuck in my mind. When I go there, I go over close to it, and I look at it. I've been there many, many times. In fact, a friend of mine bought a print of just a small section of it. I have it hanging over the fireplace. He gave it to me for a birthday. But every part of it, the dog's eyes, there's a little black and white dog. Its eyes are perfect. The fingernails are perfect. Every part of it. Yet you sit and it's so incredible. It has a hypnotic effect on you. You can't take your eyes off it. And I thought, I wonder how he must have felt when he felt it was finished. I wonder if he ever felt it was finished. I've often thought artists must think they're never finished. A little shadow here or a little shadow there. I remember writing a script for a recording. Diane and I were working together. I love working with you. I really do. Well, the two of us just worked together so well in writing things. And we were talking about Michelangelo. And I don't know if you had read it or thought of it, or I read it or thought of it. One of us did. It stuck in my mind. I would love to take credit for it, but I think it was probably you. And he's working on David. And this buddy of his dropped by, and they're shooting the breeze, and David, of course, standing there, and he says, boy, he said, that's really something. That's really something. Michelangelo says, well, I'm glad you like it. He said, I put a lot of work, but it's a long ways from being done. Well, anyway, his buddy went away, went on a trip, and he come back a few months later, and he came to visit him. And he, looking at David, he said, he says, you haven't had time to work on him. Haven't worked on him? What are you talking about? That's all I've done is work on him. I fixed that right eyebrow. The nostrils, I've got the nostrils just down pat now. And the hands, look at the hands. I got those knuckles right. It took me so long to get them right. Well, he said, yeah, but he says they're trifles. Well, he says they may be trifles, but trifles make perfection, and perfection's no trifle. That has always stuck in my mind. It would have to be you that thought it. I wouldn't have thought of that. But I like it. I love it. It's those kind of things that we want to attempt to keep in our mind whenever we're doing what we're doing. Every little part of it is very important, whether it's the knuckle or the nostril. It's very important. Yet you've got to be gutsy. Your age, your gender's got nothing to do with it. Do you see, we're programmed to earn and put away enough that when we get to a certain age, nobody's ever figured out what the certain age was. And then we can take it easy. You don't have to work anymore. See, it's obvious that we're programmed to think that we're made for working. We're not made for working. We're made for creating. We're creative. We're made different than any other form of life. We've been endowed with faculties that blow your mind when you think it, and it's within us. We've got it. If we just do ordinary what everybody out there's doing, the doorman or the salad chef or something, we're never going to live up to our potential. Let's learn to give a little more. Let's learn to read a little more. Let's learn to think a little more. Let's learn to stretch. I love what Wooden said. He felt it was his obligation to do something every day for someone when he knew there would be no opportunity for them to reciprocate. That is such a magnificent concept. I mean, that should just turn our stem inside, should really get us jazzed. I know that when you think about it, you're the same as me. You realize our life is very important. It's our life. And it goes so fast.
We're at our time here. And this is going back to everything that a man is his mind. All we've got is one shot. We don't know how much time we have. I don't know how much time I have. I don't know how much time you have. But I do know one thing. All opportunities are evenly present. I've done it. You can do it. Remember that thought causes all. Mind causes all. It all has to start from there. Nobody can change you. The only one that can. We've got to bet on you. Take a look at what we're doing. Everyone have a blessed day. Thank you.